What is up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then it's just welcome to my channel and now welcome back. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you will not be disappointed unless, of course, your taste level is lacking, child. Everybody does not have good taste, okay? To everyone else, I hope you're doing well, and I'm so excited. Y'all love the last Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction video. I do too, and I am really excited about the stories for this week. The goal is to get it up Friday. Y'all, today's video is extremely sad. I'm gonna get right into it. So we are discussing the case of Shakira Spencer here, who was born over in West London, and Shakira was raised in a very happy and healthy household. She comes from a very loving family. She was always very happy herself, always smiling, always in good spirits. And she is described by her mother as loving and trusting, but vulnerable and in need of support. She also said that it was always very important to Shakira for people to like her and for her to have friends, which made her, quote, keen to please people. From very early on, her parents and her sisters do notice a few delays. There were ways in which Shakira was just a little bit different. It's discovered that Shakira does have some learning difficulties and is deemed disabled. But the thing was, whenever Shakira put her mind to something, honey, she had a spirit of determination, okay? She did not allow her disability to place limits on her dreams. And what they wanted for their daughter was for her to be very independent and have a normal life. Her family is very supportive of whatever she wants to do. When she gets out into the world and wants to work, they support her during that. She would also help her sister sell cosmetics online. And Shakira was very into makeup, so she would do makeup tutorials and post them to YouTube. With the support of her family, she is able to live independently. And in her early 20s, Shakira finds love. She's dating this guy, he meets the family likes them, he is accepting of Shakira and all of the things. And the two of them can really see a future with the other. And so they get married. And with her husband, Shakira has 2 sons. Now, I know in the UK, an apartment is a flat, and a flat is an apartment over here. So I may go between the two words, but I mean the same thing, okay? In 2013, the small family of 4 move into a flat, and Shakira becomes acquainted with another mother who is living in the same community, 29-year-old Ashana Studholme. Shakira grows very fond of Ashana, who is 3 years older than her, and she kind of looks up to the woman. Where Shakira is very friendly, very soft-spoken, a people pleaser, and thoughtful, Ashana was very rough around the edges and around the face. Honey, Ashana did not take no mess from anybody. And of course, by now, age 26, Shakira has realized that her passiveness has allowed for people to walk over her, take advantage of her, treat her as if she is less deserving of respect. So Ashana's assertiveness and her take no mess attitude is something that Shakira really admires. Now, Shakira has not been a nightlife kind of girl, and the nightlife scene is something else that Ashana introduces her to. So the two of them would dress up, look really cute at the clubs together, have drinks together, and just have a time. Ashana also introduces Shakira to party drugs. And child, even if Shakira could not adopt some of her newfound friends' ways, just being around Ashana is beneficial to Shakira because with that comes a certain level of protection. Ashana is known to throw hands in a minute. And so Ashana is known to throw hands in a heartbeat. Ashana actually done some time for assault back in the day after fights she had with different women. She also had a little booster spirit on her. She liked to steal, go on a little shoplifting spree, and she also did some time for that as well. Loss prevention had tapped her on her shoulder a time or two. Mama's was a thug, okay? She was the thug missus, and she had a mister. 26-year-old Sean Pendlebury. Am I tripping, or do they kind of look alike? They look a lot alike. Around the eyes, you see it? Now, Sean here is a street pharmacist, and he also sells the things that Ashana would pick up from the public. He and Ashana do not live together. She has an apartment with the 2 children that she has custody of, and he lives with his mother. Now, Ashana also had a little temper on him. Prior convictions of assault, 2 of which were on police officers. He was a wild boy. And Shakira's husband is not fond of her new friends. He feels like they're a bad influence on her. Really only knows Ashana, but knowing Ashana is knowing enough, okay? He does not like his wife spending time with this woman. Not only was the woman a bad influence on his wife, according to him, she was unnecessarily aggressive, and he felt like she had too much or was starting to have too much of an influence or like control on his wife. He could tell that Shakira was starting to value her opinion a lot more than anyone else's, as if Ashana knew best, and that was beginning to be a problem within their relationship. Also, the fact that she's spending a lot of time down over at Ashana's apartment unit. But despite how he feels about it, the two women are inseparable. Shakira opts to continue to spend time with her friend Ashana. 2 years into Shakira and her husband living in their flat with their two sons, their marriage is deteriorating, and she is spending more and more of her time around Ashana's apartment. He ultimately decides to leave her and to take the children with him. And with her family gone, now Shakira is growing even closer to Ashana. She is spending more time over at Ashana's apartment, doing more drugs and more of the things, right? And then a third friend enters the fold. 45-year-old Lisa Richardson, who was also a tenant of the apartment building. Mama's was a cannabis grower, and she had been locked up for that in the past. They become acquainted. She starts hanging out at Ashana's all the time, and Ashana's apartment just becomes the spot. And she herself, she is the ringleader of the friend group, with the other two women and her boyfriend pretty much doing whatever she says without question or much resistance. Now, for a brief moment, Ashana is separated from the group after she gets into an altercation with a woman that becomes physical, and she's jailed after beating said woman unconscious in the middle of the street. But of course, her good friends and her boyfriend on the outside, y'all, they hold her down. And 2 years after this, in 2019, after spending a total of 6 years at this apartment complex, Shakira moves out and moves into another community that is fairly close still, and it's only about 7 miles between the two of them. So the two of them remain very close. And over the time that they had spent building this relationship in their last community, Shakira has slowly begun to pull away from her family, her loved ones, and with the inside scoop that they have from her husband, it is a little apparent, or they begin to speculate, that this is something that Ashana is intentionally doing. She is trying to get and keep Shakira away from anybody who would be trying to tell her right while Ashana is trying to tell her wrong. And then COVID hits the world and all of the things shut down. And during that time, things become a lot worse than what the family realized was happening. This creates the perfect storm for this situation to become what it did. So although her family did feel and believe that Ashana was a bad influence on her, bad for her, somebody she shouldn't be around at all, they had no idea just how bad and disturbing things were. While most people obeyed the orders of staying at home, in their respective home, the group of four, Sean, Shakira, Lisa, and Ashana, do not. They are together all the time. They are now hanging out at Shakira's place instead of Shauna's. And they will get together, invite some friends over, have drinks, partake in drugs, have a nice little party. They will eat up Shakira's grocery, leave the place trashed. And Shakira, who was too timid to speak up and had this burning desperation for friendship, was left to clean the place up alone because they never offered to help, and she just was too afraid to lose her friends to say something. She revered this group of people. She referred to them as her very best friends, and they unfortunately did not have the same energy for her. In their phones, she was saved under the name John Doe and Gully, which, I guess, is like a little old gutter snipe over here in the U.S. Knowing that she was very eager to please them and be accepted and be in the fold, they took advantage of that. They would make her the errand girl. If they needed something from the store, they would send her. They would make her use her money to pay for things. And during the shutdown, they made ever increasing demands of her. It went from like errand running to go get grocery to getting the grocery and cooking them a meal. Her making them dinner became a regular occurrence. They would also have her deep clean their homes on a regular basis. And they also like to mock her and insult her under the guise of humor. You gotta watch out for them girls. Some of y'all got friends like that. So it wasn't enough that they would like manipulate her. They treated her horribly as well. And when Sean gets kicked out of his mother's home for conducting business on her porch and stashing his inventory there, he is not worried at all because he has somewhere to go in his little mind. And it's not even to his woman's house. He doesn't go stay with Shauna. He goes over to Shakira's apartment, first taking over her couch and living room, and then eventually taking over her bedroom and putting her out in the common areas to sleep. And once Sean moves in, so to speak, they are always at her apartment all the time. Lisa, Sean, and Ashana. And their seemingly favorite group activity is humiliating Shakira and treating her less than human. There's a time where they made her live on a diet of ketchup packets, just ketchup packets. And during this time, they were still making her cook them dinner every day. So she would have to cook these meals, was not allowed to partake in the meal, then would have to just eat ketchup packets afterward. In a matter of about 15 months, she goes from a size 16 to a size 8. And she went from looking like this to looking like this. I didn't even realize that these were the same woman at first. Like, I did a lot of reading first, and then when I clicked the images, I thought that this was the woman it was done to and this was the assailant. I thought this was Ashana. Shakira's neighbor catches her one-on-one to speak with her and asks her if she's doing okay, if she needs help. But she tells her neighbor no. And she was not good at all about answering her family's phone calls, so her father decided he was going to stop by. This man drops by the apartment and sees how much his daughter's appearance has changed, and he is very concerned. And it's not even until then that he finds out that at this point she has lost custody of her 2 sons, and she tells him that she still has access, visitation, and everything was okay. He's like, yeah, no, everything is not okay. You need to come home with me. But she refuses. He's thinking at this point that she's just become addicted and strung out on something. He begs her to get help, begs her to come leave with him right now. She refuses. Her family tries to get the police involved. They send them around there to do a welfare check. But when the police show up, she denies that anything is wrong, that anything wrong has been done to her. And so there's really nothing that the police can do. Or it's nothing that they do. Because I don't know the laws. I feel like over here they might have rounded her up. Her family pointed the finger at these friends of hers, accusing them of abusing Shakira. But when officers spoke to her regarding these claims, she denied that they had done any of the things. Even when she turned up to an emergency room herself seeking some medical help with a swollen, bloodied ear, she would not name her friends as her attacker. Which I'm kind of surprised that the family was not able to do more, considering the fact that she is disabled. But the laws here in the US are what I'm used to, child. So I don't know, it could be a little different across the pond. Eventually, she stops allowing her father to come in when he would drop by. She would sit outside sometimes and talk to him in the hallway. And during one of these conversations that they had that was an hour long, she tells him how he doesn't love her, the family doesn't love her, like nobody loves her, and that she was just so sad and miserable. And he's like, girl, where are you getting this from? Like, he tries his best to assure her that no, you have a whole family that loves you. All of us love you. We care about you. We want the best for you. We want to help you. But nothing he was saying was really getting through. It was as if she had been brainwashed into believing that only Ashana cared about her, and that the things that Ashana did to her and allowed to happen to her were for her greater good, for her bettering, out of love. During this particular conversation, this visit with her, he asks her to come home for the weekend with the family and just, just spend some time with them, see for herself that we love you. And she does not want to go for the weekend. He ends up settling for her, just agreeing to think about possibly coming to spend her birthday with them. And he leaves hopeful that she will decide to at least spend that one day with them. But the day comes and it goes, and they do not see Shakira. In July of 2022, when the world is opening back up, Shakira's abuse continues and it becomes very physical. July 14th of that year, Shauna sends a text message to another friend outside of their friend group that read, quote, "I've just fucked this bitch up. She ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna smash her up, no joke." And then the day after that, she sends a follow-up text to the same friend saying, "She got everything she deserved. I didn't beat her much, just a few tappy. That was the following day. A couple days after that message, this same friend is sent a photo of Shakira that was taken by Lisa, and it was sent from Lisa. And the photo is of Shakira laid across the bed. Her nose is beaten and bloodied, swollen black eyes, and she is either asleep or unconscious. We don't know. And Lisa sent this photo to their friend with the text, "Look who I got." The friend was obviously a like-minded individual because they do not go to the police with any of these things. And I'm not even sure what their responses were to these texts. And this friend was also invited to come join in on their sadistic fun. They frequently updated her on things that they did to Shakira, sent her footage. It was a very normal occurrence for them to record the things that they did to her while they were doing it, so they could look at it and laugh at it later. It gets to the point where Ashana is in complete control of Shakira. She not only controlled her physically on demand, she is taking over Shakira's bank accounts. She spends Shakira's disability check that is coming in. And y'all, it gets so much worse. When they would blow through Shakira's money and were in need of more for whatever reason, they would coerce Shakira into sleeping with men for money and would laugh in the group chat about essentially pimping her. On Friday, September 9th of 2022, Shanna texts the group, quote, "I bust up her head. I need you here. I will go to jail." And in an instant, just like that, here come her flunkies to her aid. And the location is Shanna's apartment. Now, likely out of boredom or entertainment, who knows, Shanna had grabbed a glass bottle and broken it over Shakira's head, but the glass, when it shattered, had lacerated her scalp, and now she was laying dazed and bleeding on the floor. Instead of getting her medical attention, the group decides to patch her up, and when she regained consciousness, they made her continue on with her chores, making them dinner that same night, completely undressed. And there are videos on their phone from that night where she's still being berated as she's performing these chores and cooking for them. And in the background of the video, you can see the two children are present. The two children that Shauna has custody of. Child A is 12 years old and child B is 10 years old. They're there witnessing all of these horrific things happening. And once Shakira finishes dinner and literally everybody sits around eating like a nice happy family, she goes and lays down in the hallway and is just laying there while they're eating as if she's not there. Sunday, May 11th, 2 days after Ashana had assaulted her, Shakira is captured on security footage from outside near a close by intersection walking to a store. She's seen crossing the intersection with her hood over her head down, and her walk was described as slow and pained. Even with her very fresh wound and being forced to act as a servant for 48 hours afterward, they sent her to the store to run an errand on that Sunday night. The following morning, May 12th, the adults get up, everybody wakes up, and the adults decide that they want to further torment Shakira. So in the presence of the children, like this is happening right in front of the kids, someone grabs an aerosol can and a lighter, and using the tools like a blowtorch, aiming at various points of her body, including her face, they use it until the gas is gone, like all gone from the lighter. One of them, I believe it was Sean, the boyfriend, was having so much fun doing it that he literally was doing this until his finger got way too hot. Then child A, who is the 12-year-old, is ordered to put on a pot of boiling water or put the kettle on. Shakira is restrained and the water is poured over her feet, which causes them to become almost completely degloved. And then the same is done to her hands and she passes out. At that point, they take her and lay her in the hallway. Later on that night, she regains consciousness. So Sean, the boyfriend, takes her and puts her in the trunk of a car. There is security camera footage that shows the outside of her apartment, Sean taking her inside of her apartment. When he gets her inside, he puts her in a hallway closet and closes it and locks it. Afterward, the group go out to get food, since apparently none of them cook. And when days go by without Shakira's family being able to reach her, they become very concerned. 11 days after leaving her inside of her apartment, Ashana sends this text to Lisa. Just had Shakira's mom ring to abuse me about where Shakira is. She's a fucking horrible bitch, a pure cunt. I've done everything for Shakira, but no one sees that. And I guess they have a group discussion about how her family is looking for her, and if she is found in the way that she currently is, it will look like foul play. So together they come up with an idea. They put their little three brain cells together and decide that they'll go back to Shakira's apartment, take her out of the closet, and they lay her in her son's bed. Not across the floor, not on the couch, not in her own bed, but her son's bed. They thought her being in a bed would make it look more like a natural occurrence, and so they leave her there for her to be discovered. Right after leaving her apartment, they are captured on security footage at a store purchasing cleaning supplies and odor neutralizers from a store that was literally right down the street. And then they return to her apartment with bleach and gloves, and they attempt to remove all of their DNA from any surface that they might have touched. They then remove any evidence of their crime or them having been there and continue their waiting game. 2 days later, on the Sunday evening of September 25th of 2022, this is 13 days after Sean had initially put her in that closet. A neighbor walking past Shakira's apartment notices not only a very pungent, foul odor, but maggots crawling out from underneath her front door. They, of course, call police, who forcefully enter the apartment to find her there after being there for a total of 13 days. And all that she had endured made it impossible for them to determine what the final straw was, what her cause of death was. And she could only positively be identified by her teeth. Her family is delivered the very heartbreaking news, and they know right away that this was something that was done to her and who done it. It was not a doubt in her family's mind that it was the 3 people that she called her best friends. The following day, the 3 of them, bright and early, are arrested.
Am I Ashana? Yeah, I'm Ashana Studholme.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashana. What's your date of birth?
15/12/84.
84?
Yeah.
Okay, Ashana, so I'm placing you under arrest on suspicion of murder.
Excuse me?
I'm currently placing you under arrest on suspicion of murder of Shakira Spencer on the 26th of September today. Necessitate your arrest to prevent further escape, secure evidence, as well as thorough investigation.
Hi, is it Lisa? Can we quickly come in? Okay, right, Lisa, just so you're aware. Okay, you're under arrest for murder. You don't have to say anything, but may harm your defense. If you do not mention when anything you do say may be given in evidence. Okay? You've been identified as someone involved in the murder of Shakira Spencer on the 25th. Okay?
Listen to what I've got to say. This is very important to you. Okay? So you've been arrested on suspicion of the murder of Shakira Spencer at 9 Lambeth House. Okay? Between the 31st and the 8th and the 26th of the 9th. In relation to that, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. The necessity for your arrest is to prevent your disappearance, for a prompt and effective investigation, and for the prevention of harm. Okay?
Yeah, but I've never been cautioned or anything, so I don't know why you're saying
You're under caution at the moment. My advice would be wait until you've had the opportunity to have legal advice before you make any further comment in relation to the allegations against you. Okay?
And from the very moment that they are picked up, they point the finger at the other 2, minimizing the role that they themselves played. Sean said he had nothing to do with Shakira's death and leaned heavily on his low IQ and his anxiety to paint the picture that he was always at the mercy of Ashana and completely under her thumb. Lisa tells the police that she has not seen Shakira in weeks. And Ashana said that she had been Shakira's friend for 9 years now, and she would do anything for Shakira, but said that unfortunately her dear friend had gotten into S work and a lot of her clientele would get very rough and rowdy with her. And she said that she had last seen Shakira about 2 weeks prior when she had dropped by Shakira's house And at the time, Shakira was perfectly fine. But y'all, all of the evidence they are collecting in the background while they talking to these people is like debunking their lies in real time. Inside of Ashana's apartment, they have found Shakira's bank cards. Out of paranoia or stupidity, I don't know, Ashana had completely wiped her phone. She had completely deleted everything, believing that that would mean none of her texts, none of her pictures, any of the media she had sent would be recoverable. Sean, the boyfriend, had completely gotten rid of his. They couldn't physically find it nowhere. It's obviously very intentional. And Lisa here still had her cell phone. She had not deleted a thing. Still full of videos, photos, text messages. And in addition to what they themselves had documented, they had the security footage from the nearby intersection showing Shakira walking to the store like slow and pained. They have Ring doorbell footage from the first apartment complex that they all lived in. And they also have statements from Child A and Child B who were present for most of the things. Child A said that Shakira would cry and beg them to stop, as they would all three sometimes or oftentimes crowd around her and take turns trying to outdo each other's violence. During one of the last nights the Child A saw Shakira, they mentioned her laying in the hallway on a stack of like laid out newspapers for her to relieve herself on while she was passed out. And after she did, the child said that they didn't clean it up. They left her laying in the wet and soiled newspapers and said that she smelled like burnt dead skin. Child B, who was the 10-year-old, drew photos and drew a picture of Ashana, their mother, with an angry face, hitting a second drawing, which is supposed to be Shakira. And on Shakira's face, the child drew a sad face and also drew wounds on her cheek and mouth. The drawing of Shakira had saliva coming from the mouth, and Child B said the last time they saw Shakira, she was acting in a strange way that they did not like, and in so many child-sized words described her as being incoherent. Now, on the 25th, the day before the group was arrested, Sean, the boyfriend, had actually gone to his uncle and told him what had happened, and this uncle had immediately gone to the police, got all the details, called the police. They were already hot on the trio's trail, but this, of course, helped. And when their trial began in October of 2023, all three of them sat there and pled not guilty. For 12 long weeks, the full, shocking, and horrific details of what they had done to her over the years are disclosed, and her family has to hear it all. And this is just what they have physical proof of. Everybody is still sticking to their story of, it wasn't me, it was them too, even despite the evidence. And the evidence was so disturbing. The images of her and everything was so bad that this particular group of jurors ended up being excused from jury duty for the rest of their lives. Like, they'll never have to do it again after what they saw. After 18 hours of deliberating, the jury finds the group guilty as charged, which is of murder and preventing a burial. March 1st of 2024, just last year, the three of them were finally sentenced. And the judge acknowledges the fact that they had still failed to show any type of remorse, any kind of empathy, and said that off that fact alone, their sentence would have to be life in prison. Like, girl, y'all just gotta go to jail forever. She told them that she made no difference in between their roles because the footage showed that they equally tormented this woman. She said, quote, "None of you take any responsibility and continue to blame each other. You have no remorse. Your only concern continues to be for yourselves. Please understand that you may never be released. The prison service will manage you and try to reduce the risk that you are to the public, if that is possible. You'll be subject to the terms of your life sentence for the rest of your life." Child, over in this country, the judge is required by law to set like a minimum prison sentence before they're eligible for parole. They don't have life without the possibility of parole like we got over here. So she said theirs for 34 years. And she was very clear that she only is setting a minimum because By law, she has to, and she told them in so many words not to have hope that they will be paroled after 34 years. She said, this minimum is not your sentence is life imprisonment. And when I say the judge read them for filth individually, she said to Sean, the boyfriend, you have a low IQ, you're 26, and you have lived independently, so I do not accept the submission that you are a child yourself. You are a follower rather than a leader, and you had ample opportunity to walk away. Ashana tried to play a little mental health card. She said, Ashana, you are not mentally ill or psychotic. Now, I don't know about the psychotic part, Judge, but child. She said, you have a personality that is aggressive, dominant, and manipulative. Mentioned that she took full advantage of Shakira. She's shown no remorse since, and pointed out the fact that she's a liar. And Lisa, as far as the judge could tell, the mistreatment of Shakira actually intensified once Lisa came into the fold. According to the judge, the messages that were recovered from Lisa's phone made it very clear that she was the catalyst for the torture aspect. And Child B said that Lisa was slapping Shakira's face and then was squishing her head like a banana. And it was so hard, it took her brains out and made them feel sick. Victim list just growing at this point, because at this point, the children on the victim list too, girl. How you as little Child B supposed to recover from that? Ain't no telling what long-term effects this will have on little A and B. The earliest day that they could be released, if they could be released, would be the 25th of March in 2056, when Sean Pendlebury would be 59. Ashana Studholme would be 72, and Lisa Richardson will be 77. So Lisa and Ashana, they got locked up in the same prison, which I don't think was right. I don't feel like they should have the comforts of each other's company. Anyway, the girls down at HMP Bronzefield say that they can't stand Ashana. Not at all. They can't stand her. Say she is nasty and unpleasant. Ain't no telling what she in there doing, or got her sidekick in there doing. I would hope they in there being bullied and beaten down to the prison yard, but child, who's to say? Ashana got a face that look like I beats, I don't get beat. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore. Anyway, that is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Super sad story. Y'all, I already know what some of the comments gonna look like. Y'all, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Like the video before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. As always, I appreciate you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace. Y'all be safe out there. Never will I ever not wish you well. That's a lie. I hope you fall down on your knees today in front of a crowd. So Ashana's assertiveness she'd actually served some time for assault after I can't talk today. He and Ashana do not actually live together. A little apparent, or they begin to speculate that this is something. Stuttering Stanley, I'm so childish. Jesus, where was I? That this is something that this is something that Ashana isn't. Shakira, she tells them that I'm stuttering today. I don't know why. Shakira is it wasn't a doubt in their mind that the three people that she calls her after 18 hours of deliberation, the jury, and the judge said that the messages she recorded and Lisa Richardson